All right, YouTube. I just wanted to make a video on the Ruger American Predator. It's in 6.5 Creedmoor. I know there's quite a few reviews of this rifle out there, but I just really wanted to kind of make a quick video of my experience with it. It is been safety checked. It is unloaded. I just got back from the range today. I've got a Vortex Viper. It's a 4x16x44. It's the long range model, so it's got the turret on the top. This is going to be 1,000 yard. That was my intention for the rifle, was to build it into 1,000 yard gun, I guess, just to play around with. I've never shot that long of a range before, so I guess was kind of intrigued with other people doing it. So anyhow, I bought the rifle at Cabela's for $450. Bought the scope. Got a smoking deal on it at Sportsman's for $399. Which was really cheap. So anyways, I think the scope does pretty good on this rifle. As far as you know, it's a good scope, but it's not top of the line as far as glass clarity and quality goes. It does track very true, and the glass is definitely acceptable for what we're doing here. So if you're trying to make tiny itty little bitty groups at 100 yards, it is lacking because the crosshairs are a little bit thicker than some of the more target oriented scopes. So keep that in mind if you're just wanting to drive little tacks into a 100-yard group. But if you're going to use it for any long range hunting where you're going to be shooting at a 1 MOA target, not a little 1/8 inch target, you'll be okay. Or if you're wanting it for hunting, and that's what it's designed for. And that's this rifle is going to be built for, well, has been built for hunting and 1,000 yard, shooting for fun out to 1,000 at steel. So hunting, what I'm trying to do with it is I'm trying to get it to be a very capable 600 yard deer and elk and antelope rifle. So I know some people think it's a little underkill. I've already I shot a mule deer with it last year at 300 yards with a different scope on it. And it one shot, just right in the shoulder, big, nice 4-point, pretty good sized body. And he just went to sleep. So, as far as the round goes, it is very capable of doing its job as far as hunting. I'm shooting 143 grain ELDX bullets. I was buying factory ammo until I got the dies. I put 100 rounds exactly through it with the Hornady rounds, the 143 grain ELDX factory loads, and I did that intentionally. So now I have 100 rounds of brass that is all the same. So I just bought the dies and I loaded up some Reloader 17, the 4350, the Hodgdon stuff is it's so hard to find that I wanted to skip over it completely and try something else. So I went with the Reloader 17, and I also did get some Super Performance powder. I just wanted to show you guys some of the groupings that I got today. So these are all, you see here, I started with 38 grains. I got a group of 0.575 inches. 38.5, 0.515, 39, 0.68, 39.5, 0.603, and 40 grains of RL17, 0.577. These were all shot, 4-shot groups. Just no wind, real nice calm day. This gun absolutely is, honestly, it's amazing me right now. So, with this powder and with this bolt, this is the 143 grain ELDX bullet because I want to stick with that high ballistic coefficient round for the longer shooting when I want to shoot out to 1,000. So anyways, I did try the Super Performance. Didn't do so good in the 143 grain. I think it's definitely designed for a little bit lighter pills, so I'll probably get some 120 just to try them out. Don't really want to shoot 120 grain bullets out of my 6.5 just because, like I said, it is a gun intended to hunt with and for long range shooting. So in both of those, I feel this cartridge really shines with the 140 grain bullets, and this gun does shoot them exceptionally well with the right powder. So the factory rounds in the 143s, I've got some paper around here somewhere. It shot well, but not as good as it's shooting now. So I am very, very satisfied with that, and I did seat the bullets just a hair longer than they do from the factory. I seated them as long as I could to fit in the mag. If you guys get into loading with this Ruger American Predator, the mag is not deep as one would want, so you can't get into the lands like you'd want to, or at 5 thousandths off, but you can get close, and as you can see, you get close enough for what I'm doing. 1,000-yard target, 600-yard hunting. This is 0.5 to 0.6 MOA, so that is extremely acceptable. I'm going to do some longer range shooting, and just remember, this gun is factory. This gun doesn't have anything really done to it. The only thing I have done to this rifle was something that you've probably heard about, where the barrel actually does touch the barrel channel right in here when you get it from the factory. So I just took the stock off and I kind of carved out a little bit of this material, and then I actually took some DevCon and I filled in the bottom of this on the inside, because what I was getting is I was getting too much flex here. You can see that here where I'm actually able to flex it, and if you do it too far it'll touch the barrel, but now it's capable of having a bipod on it and not touching. So problem with a bipod is as it recoils under fire, it will actually act as a pivot and actually push up and touch the barrel, which dramatically can affect your accuracy. So I do recommend doing that. You're going to get in there and you're probably going to have one of these barrels that does touch the channel, where you're going to want to carve a little bit of that material away, just so it's free floating like it should be from the factory. Don't know what Ruger was doing with that. I mean, it's a common issue, and I don't know why they didn't address that sooner. I don't know if they have yet, but not a big deal. For a $450 rifle, you're getting a smoking, to me, you're getting a smoking deal. As you can see, 1/2-inch groups, man. These were all measured. These are all measured with the mic. So, and I shoot 4 shots. It's not 3. If I want to do 3 shot, I mean, look at this. You got 2 in the same hole, and 1 right next to it. I mean, they're literally, that's almost a 1/4-inch group right there. So, and the way I measured these groups was outside to outside, and I go off of the graying. I don't go off of the hole. You don't want to do that. You want to go off the graying, outside to outside, and then you're going to subtract your caliper. So that's what I did here. Absolutely astonished with the accuracy out of this cheaper rifle. And I just want to throw this out there that I bought a Howa 1500. I've got other rifles that I hunt with, but I wanted a new rifle. I bought a Howa 1500 about 1.5 years ago in a 300 Win Mag, and I couldn't get it to shoot. I sent it in. They gave me a whole new barreled action, put the gun back together, sent it back to me. It did take about 9 months, which is pretty uncommon, I think, for Howa. From the reviews I've been getting, Howa's been a pretty good company as far as that stuff goes, and from my experience, they were lacking. They supposedly had to wait to get a barreled action from Japan. I don't know why it took so long, but I got the gun back. It shot better, but it didn't shoot good enough for me to accept it to go into my gun safe. It shot a little over 1 inch at 100 yards with hand loads. I never did get factory ammo to shoot very well. Now, hey, I know that Howa's got a really good name out there, and I've actually thought about trying again and buying another Howa, but anyways, I sold the Howa. Okay, I sold the Howa. I'm not bashing Howe. I know you guys got Howas out there that are shooting probably as good as this sucker here, but I'm just letting you know my experience with him. So I sold the Howa, and I went out and I bought a Remington 700 and 308 Varminter. I got it at Dick's. It's a Dick's special gun, I believe, Dick's Sporting Goods, and that it had a 26-inch heavy barrel. The gun was stout, very heavy rifle, cheap stock, absolutely cheap stock on that rifle. You know, pretty much, probably pretty similar to this one, and I paid $419, I believe, for the gun. Oh, and I did have a $50 mail-in rebate that Remington still hasn't sent back to me, which was, this was probably 5 months ago, and I still haven't got it back. Don't know what happened there. I guess you gotta dot your I's and cross your T's, or you're not gonna get your money back on that stuff, which I thought I did. But anyways, not too upset about that. That 308, I didn't even buy dies for it. That was the first 308 I've ever owned, and I liked the idea of having a mil-spec gun, a gun that shoots, the military round, if you will. Because of the availability, you could shoot cheap ammo through it. Don't know why you'd want to, but you could if you wanted to. Just a good gun to have, a good caliber, I guess I should say, to have. So that gun shot about 1.5 inches, okay? And some of the groups would open up to almost like 2.5 inches, okay? All shot prone, just like these. All my shooting's done prone. I don't shoot off bipods when I'm trying to just shoot to see what the gun can do. There's just too many variables. I shoot off a bag. Extremely solid platform. Not the best shot in the world, I'm not going to say, but as you can see, I'm capable of shooting a half MOA. So I can lay down groups if I really apply my fundamentals. So anyways, 1.5 to 2.5 inch groups was not acceptable. I tried 4 different factory ammos out of that 308, that Remington 700, and that was the best I could get. So now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure that I could have hand loaded and really dialed it in, but I want to start with a gun that shoots good to begin with, because that's just the way I am. If it's not going to shoot a factory round at 1.5 inches or better, I don't want it. I'm not going to waste my time, because I don't want to go out, buy dies, buy powder. I spend a lot of money, and you guys spend a lot of money. You know how it is. The dies are $40 to $60, and your equipment alone, you're going to be $100 just to load one bullet. And if that bullet doesn't work, then you're going to have to go buy another bullet until you find one that works. So, be that as it may, kiddos, go outside, go play. Okay. Be that as it may, I sold that rifle as well, and with the money, I bought this. So it started with a Howa, went to a Remington, and now it went to Ruger, and Ruger has won the battle. I will say that the Howa platform seemed more rugged, which Howa is basically a 700 as well. It's just, but the stock on the Howa was nice. It was a very nice stock. I glass bedded it, hoping that it would help. I guess mine, for whatever reason, I just couldn't get it to group that well. I had one outing where it grouped extremely well with, I think I only shot three round groups though, and they were all under 1 inch at 100 yards. But I went back out and couldn't duplicate it, and I was frustrated with the rifle at that point after waiting 9 months, and I just needed to get the sour taste out of my mouth and get rid of it. So I did. So I ended up with this gun. Very, very happy with it. The gun's, it's got the medium contour barrel. You guys already know about the gun. I don't need to get into details about the specs of the gun. I will say I like the trigger. It's really nice. The recoil pad on the back is pretty soft. I'm afraid that sucker is going to fall apart after time, but I don't care. This is, it's a $450 gun, guys. You're not going to get everything, but what you will get is you'll get good groups. I don't know if anybody else out there is getting half MOA, but I'm sure there are. I'm sure that some of them are shooters and some of them aren't, just like any other gun. But from my experience, it's been good with the Ruger American Predator in the 6.5 and the with that Vortex scope on there. So, by the way, I've got Warren rings on it. Build yourself a solid platform so you don't have too many variables to worry about when you're out there, and if you're not grouping right. You don't have to worry about your cheap rings or your cheap scope or something like that. Again, the factory ammo, the 143 grain ELDX that I shot out of this thing